Good morning, everybody. Welcome all new subscribers, and thank you to everyone who takes the time to check out my playlists and watch my older videos and not just what's current, because there's good older stuff too, I promise. So I mentioned a few videos ago, I think it was in my video where it was, traits that attract narcissists, that I would do the reverse of that and do a video on traits that essentially scare narcissists away. Traits you can exhibit that will make a narcissist back off, because if you exhibit these traits, you're pretty much showing that you're not an easy target at the least. And also, the narcissist might figure out that you know what narcissism or narcissistic tendencies are. So not only do you know how to avoid them, or you know what they're doing, but you might just kind of be the person who's going to call them out and expose them, and that truly terrifies them. Because there is no logic with narcissists, but they do fear the person who knows what they're doing and knows how to articulate what they're doing to explain it to other people, so that other people look at them as they truly are. Because it's not just about you knowing what they are and avoiding them, it's you being able to show other people what they are in a way they can understand. Just real quick, like, to a narcissist, there's no logic. Before I get into my 6 things that they avoid, to a narcissist, there's no logic. I talked in my last video about my narcissistic aunt and how I should be, somehow putting a dumpster's worth of trash out in a trash can each month, and that, just throw all this stuff that is worth money away, because like today, I have to go take care of one of the houses I take care of, and on my way, because it's not far out of the way, I'm stopping at a used sports equipment store to sell my old hockey gear I don't use anymore. No, it's not worth a lot of money, but I sent pictures, and the store owner said, he's like, yeah, I don't know exactly, but he's like, you got it, he's like, bare minimum $50 there. So how is it logical to throw something away that a 10-minute drive out of my way will give me at least $50 cash? But in their mind, that, well, it just is. It just is. So to get into what I want to talk about, we're going to go over 6 traits that typically people with narcissistic personality disorder fear. So if you can exhibit, a combination of these traits, narcissists aren't going to be so attracted to you. They're at least going to avoid you, or perhaps even see you as a threat. Number 1 is to have healthy self-confidence. So have confidence in yourself, in your own abilities, what you know you're able to accomplish, where you stand, and not have your confidence based on the validation of others. Because, if a narcissist sees that your validation is based on what others think, and they see you as somebody who's a threat to them, not just necessarily someone who can expose them, but someone who could steal their spotlight, because remember, it's theirs all the time, they're going to come at you and try to keep you down. This is most common at work. If you're like somebody, better suited for a promotion, you have better leadership qualities, you're somebody that is respected more, but they covet that position. So they have to keep you down because they can't compete fairly. So having, a healthy self-confidence and not being overly critical to criticism and stuff, because the narcissist is going to try to do that. They're going to try to slander you. They're going to try, to speak in double entendres, to use coded languages, anything to not only change other people's opinion of you, but to change your opinion of yourself, to thus go along with their agenda. Number 2, it's an important one. You can spot red flags. So if you know what the red flags of narcissism are, the grandiose behavior, the diluted sense of self, the epic entitlement, the double standards, the feeling as if they're never wrong, feeling as if something is correct simply because they say it, feeling as if, they just know things. They don't have to back up any of their accusations. I'm saying it, therefore it's true and it's unquestionable. And another one, because I've encountered this just in the last couple of days, when you challenge a narcissist on what they're asserting, you know, they'll get real mad when you ask for, well, wait, like the numbers don't add up. Like what you're saying just empirically isn't true. Like I ran the numbers, they don't add up. They get so mad because you're just supposed to believe them. Like, they don't have to use facts or data to validate what they're saying. They're saying it, therefore it's true. And even evidence you have that disproves it undeniably doesn't matter. They're still right in their mind. So being able to spot red flags like this and being able to shoot them down, like the example I just gave, that'll start to scare narcissists off too. Because if they can't convince you of their correctness by sheer will and their made up authority, and you challenge them and you can disprove what they're saying, they know they can't defend what they're saying. And especially if you're doing it in front of people where it's going to expose that, they just make shit up, that's going to be a detriment to them, because the biggest thing of their confidence and authority is, this Napoleonic sense of crowning themselves, and where people are just supposed to fall in line between the sense of authority they gave themselves, and that ties into their sense of entitlement. Number three, you're casual and discerning. So if you're able to, joke around, poke fun at yourself, be kind of laid back and relax, like, the I don't give a shit attitude. INFJs are pretty good at that. So, as to where, like, you don't really care what the majority thinks. You don't really care about the majority thinks of you. You know the type of person you're seeking respect from, and outside of somebody you're actively seeking respect from, you could give two shits about what they think about you or what they're saying. That's a big thing that scares them off, because narcissists like to go after people that are all, overtly concerned about being in the group, the in thing, being a part of the pack, being in the mainstream, the in crowd. And they typically rise to the ranks of groups like this because of their entitlement, because of their grandiosity, because, of their overt chest thumping sense of entitlement. And also because typically the people that will coerce around a narcissist in this situation, they're very shallow and superficial. So all that to them is like, ah. But at the same time, the narcissist uh, isn't backing up their assertions, but the people that are following them aren't the type of people to question. They're just like, ready, I ready, status quo good, change bad kind of thing. They just believe whatever they're told. They're impressed by things like vapid platitudes that have no meaning, that just sound flowery. So they fall in line behind it because they're not critical thinkers. They don't want to think. They want everything to be surface level and materialistic. And, uh, shallow. Yeah. So, four, another big thing that scares off the narcissist is if you are not status obsessed. In other words, you don't play the keeping up with the Joneses game. You're seeking validation and accomplishment through life through your own means. Like myself, I'm seeking a job that provides me, a living where I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, doing something to help people, doing something to help break this corrupt, old boys club, status quo, baby boomers are gods thing that's going on. And of course, I'm seeking, true unconditional love. And I want to live in a city environment where I'm comfortable and I'm able to do the things I like to do in my free time, like go to museums and ruins and, poetry readings and all stuff that doesn't exist in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, hockey games occasionally. So if you're not status obsessed, image obsessed, if you're not obsessed again with what the mainstream is, what everybody else is doing, then the narcissist has no pull, because the narcissist tries to pull you in by saying like, well, I'm the leader of this group. This is the group that, everybody wants to be a part of. You must want to be a part of it too. And you're like, no, I don't give a shit. Then they got nothing. They don't have anything you want. And if you're not image and status obsessed with, well, my partner is a doctor and makes this much money. I have famous example, well, not a famous, but a well-known example where I grew up is there's this scumbag neurosurgeon. He's not very good because he was fired from a couple hospitals in Philly. So he came out to the suburbs because the more elite doctors are typically in the big hospitals in cities, especially like the real big cities like New York. And Philly's got some good ones too. But anyway, he cheats. He's had DUIs, like all dude's a mess. openly cheats on his wife, but she doesn't leave him, quote, because she's like, I could never give up being able to tell people that I'm married to the only neurosurgeon in Chester County. Like I said, the dude's not a good doctor. There's been malpractice suits, he's been fired a couple times, but it's kind of like in the same way of saying, well, I'm dating a professional athlete. It's like, but he got busted down to the minors. Well, he used to be pro. It's like, but he ain't there anymore. And there's a lot of people that are. Well, but he's the only guy on the minor league team that used to play pro. That kind of thing. It's all image obsessed about what people think. You telling these people get their validation through telling people what they have. Like, I have this material stuff and you don't. And don't you wish you were me? That's a big part of the fun and the game for narcissists, for them to be able to lord over people the stuff they have, and it's always materialistic. So if you're not status obsessed with having this kind of car, or I'm a member of this country club, or my partner makes this much money, the narcissist loses a lot of their pool, because again, you're not seeking to be in that clique that they deem all important. All right. And the biggest one, if you speak your mind. So if you can set boundaries, stand up for yourself, call the narcissist out, call them on their bullshit and back it up with facts and logic that they can't talk their way out of, because they know they're lying. So they, put them in a position to where they have to justify their lies and what they're saying, and that it factually doesn't add up. This is the biggest one for them, because they know you'll stand up for them. They know you'll tell them no, and that there's nothing they can do about it, because and a lot of times the authority they claim to have, they don't have. What they do offer with status and image and all that, you don't care about, therefore they don't have anything you want. And these arbitrary rules that they try to force on you, is they don't have any way of actually enforcing it. So speaking your mind and saying, like, wow, this is so messed up, like, this is narcissistic. Look how this person's trying to control every aspect of my life. They not only have no right to do that, no authority, but they're not trying to help me in any way. They're trying to manipulate me to their will. And what they're saying is, why I should do this because it would be the better outcome, factually doesn't add up. So look, this is clearly narcissistic, malicious, wrong, and evil. And you should beware of this person, in the future, because this is obviously what they're trying to do to people they come across, to their own benefit for narcissistic supply. That really terrifies them. So I hope these traits help. Again, if anyone you can exhibit, if you think a narcissist is trying to draw you in, the more the better, whatever the combination is. This is stuff that they fear. This is stuff that'll get them to back off if you think a narcissist is cozying up to you. Remember to trust your intuition. If you think you're dealing with a narcissist, speak your mind, tell the truth. Don't placate them. Don't tell them what they want to hear, because that'll just make them push harder, and then it'll be harder to set boundaries and harder to set no. And remember, there's no integrity in telling a narcissist what they want to hear and not speaking the truth, no matter who they are, no matter how much status or image they claim to have. So thank you for making it to the end. Please check out my playlists and older videos, like and subscribe to the channel. And if any video was particularly helpful to you, or you want to support the growth of this channel and me able to devote more time to it, please send a super thanks or a tip via one of the links found in the About section of the channel.